Rochard. That's it. Video's over. The game's already peaked at the start. Nah, but for real though, this game kicks ass. This game throws you onto a planet to fight off a bunch of fungal freaks, which gives the game its name, Mycopunk. Oh my god, he said the name. Grab your cool as fuck guns and maybe some friends, if you have any, and let the fight for fungal funfair begin. If you've ever played Deep Rock Galactic like I have, the game will definitely feel familiar to you, as it does have a couple similarities. The biggest similarities are pretty surface level, mostly just amounting to the mission selection and drop pod. The gameplay is similar enough to where if you've played Deep Cock, you'll definitely enjoy this game, but that's enough of the comparisons. Let's actually talk about why this game is so fucking cool. Besides the name being awesome, the game's art style is super interesting. It feels kinda cel-shaded, but I'm not entirely certain that's what it is. Like, the punk and Mycopunk definitely feels like an artistic expression, kind of looking and feeling more like a punk design. Like, I know that's not the best explanation, but it feels the most apt to me. The colors in the game are also somehow very vibrant, yet dull at the same time. And what I mean by that is everything vibrantly stands out, making it easy to differentiate between map aspects and enemies. Like, the map design is generally a Gerardi-ish color in both the grass and atmosphere, though it does of course have a myriad of colors since it's not homophobic. The muted part of the colors though is kind of weird, cause like I said earlier, the game has vibrant colors, yet they just feel dulled. Like, the muted slash dulled part is me saying that the colors themselves, despite standing out, are dulled to a darker shade. And I can't tell if it's intentional on the part of the developers though, probably is, but most of the bigger enemies and mission objectives are the guys with the brightest colors, really making them stand out from the terrain, so you could just tell with at a glance what something is, if it's dangerous or important. Being able to differentiate things on a scale of importance by color is pretty damn cool too. Now we can move on to the more important shit so I can stop pretending like an art major with an incredible understanding of color theory. Next up, I'll be covering the mission types since there's only 3 of them in the beta right now. The missions are as follows: Prime and Armored Giant Railgun, Cleanup Duty, and Slaughterfest. Killing a bunch of shit is the most simple one, quite literally tasking you with just killing as much as you can to reach the 100% mission goal. It's the simplest mission, but it's always fun just killing a bunch of enemies. Cleanup Duty, or what it actually is, clearing fungal infestations as you focus on following giant fungal root paths with these yellow gunk on them. You destroy the gunk before arriving at a large gunk, that's just as it says, a large gunk. These things do have their own defenses by having a bunch of gun arms on them that will turn you into Swiss cheese if you aren't careful enough. The railgun mission sees you clearing out these giant, I think, transmitting towers, so you can then go and prep and use the gun. This part is annoying at points because you gotta defend the 4 different batteries while it charges up. And that's all there is for missions right now, because, you know, beta. But it's whatever, as they're all really fun and pretty replayable. Next up on the to-do list of shit I need to talk about is the difficulties. I can't exactly say I'm a fan of difficulty 4 missions, which is the current highest at the moment, just due to scaling. Like, I've played the game mostly solo with the occasional rando joining my lobby and helping out, but solo play is what I'm most familiar with, so I'm going to be covering that more. Difficulties 1 through 3 are fine by yourself, as the scaling and spawns are still entirely manageable by one person, but I play on difficulty 4 most of the time, and let me tell you, it's some bullshit. My biggest gripe is with the difficulty scaling and the mission objectives not exactly working well together. The most egregious one by far is the railgun mission, solely because of the batteries. Like, you could say it's a skill issue all you want, but if I'm not dying a single time and the mission takes an extra 5 minutes due to the amount of bullshit around the batteries, I'd say that's a game issue. The issue here is that the enemies spawn so fast and frequently when an objective is active, in this case the battery's charging, that you're always overwhelmed. They can hit the batteries to damage and stop them from powering the railgun from working, which is fine by itself, but introduce boss enemies that shred your health while not taking much damage themselves, and healing when you do hit them. It's a recipe for disaster. If you try to charge a dead battery to full, you're basically guaranteed to die because of just how much shit there is. Like, the only consistent way I've found to charge batteries on difficulty 4 is to spend like a minute luring enemies away just so I can get a chance at repairing before I'm forced off of it. What sucks is that difficulty 4 is really fun on the other missions as you're able to move around more freely, letting you dodge all the projectiles and bullets. Like, in terms of difficulty from easiest to hardest, I'd rank the missions. Killing, fungal, and then like the railgun. The killing one is super fun in difficulty 4 because you just have to be constantly weaving and between shooting and running, which is super satisfying to do. But enough about my skill issues, let's talk about the pew pew shooty guns. Before we do that though, make sure to like and subscribe and share the video because that is the best way to support me. And I'm trying to hit about 1,000 or whatever by the end of the year, hopefully sooner, but back to the video. The gunplay in this game is super fun and interesting since it promotes constant weapon swapping instead of hard sticking with one gun. And how this works is that the way for you to get ammo back for one gun is to do damage with the other gun. While you can use grenades and melee to deal damage for ammo, grenades take a while to charge and melee is incredibly risky to go constantly for. And each of the guns does have their own unique thing as well as offering a good bit of variety so that the game doesn't feel stale by just, reskinning weapons. A weapon like the Cycler, which is basically an SMG, is kind of the all-rounder gun, whereas something like the Jackrabbit shotgun is better for close range. And then you bring in the gunship cannon. This shit is dummy good, like basically negating the purpose of the shotgun by doing better close range damage and sometimes being better at range than the Cycler. With 60 shots, so I'm going to say that again, 60 shots in a magazine and the bullets exploding, letting them do more damage, that makes this weapon go absolutely nuts. Like, going back to get difficulties for a second, if you aren't running this on difficulty 4, you're basically handicapping yourself because this thing is so damn good. And all of the guns are super fun to use though and can still be really effective to use. Moving on to grenades though, like I mentioned above, they are on a timer and come in fire, shock, and acidic damage types. Personally, I can't tell if the elements actually do anything to certain enemies, so I just use the grenade I have the best upgrades on. Melee is next up and is quite interesting as killing an enemy. With it gives you a bit of health, but comes at the cost of having to actually get up close and personal. The melee does good damage, letting it be a good finisher, but for me at least, in higher difficulties like difficulty 4, I find running away and regenning to be a bit more effective than just, punching a dude in the face. The most important thing next to the guns are the characters you play as, and you've got 4 of them. The Wrangler, Bruiser, Scrapper, and Glider, all of which have their own unique abilities. The Wrangler has a lasso that can pull objects to you or launch you forward, as well as having an air dash. And the lasso, in my opinion, is much better suited for movement than any combat scenario. Next is the Bruiser, who comes with a stunning shield that reflects projectiles. His second ability, Nosedive, is a damaging slam that launches enemies and even allies upwards. The Scrapper has his grapple pull, which is pretty straightforward. Grapple, sling yourself and allies at high speeds. His other ability is Jetpack, which you can help to keep your momentum after grappling. And the fourth and final character, the Glider, has homing rockets that can damage both enemies and heal allies, as well as having her wingsuit that lets you fly in whatever direction you're looking. And each of the characters are super fun to use, though I am definitely less partial to the Bruiser, as he seems to have less mobility than the other 3 characters. Now, the most important and interesting thing is the upgrades, and these can apply to pretty much everything in the game. There's 2 interesting things about it. One is it applies to basically everything in the game, and 2 is the system of how it applies. The system works kind of like a web of sorts. The higher tier upgrades, which goes from green, blue, purple to orange, have their own little nodes, so you can slot them into your character or gun and basically build a web of your upgrades. So you have to really figure out which upgrades you want and which ones, how you can fit them in the best. But the guns and grenades and characters all can be upgraded to do certain things or fit certain playstyles as well. The Cycler, for example, has an upgrade that lets you charge the gun so you can vomit out your entire clip into the enemies. And the Fire Grenade has an upgrade where if you hurt yourself with it, all your attacks do fire damage for a short period of time. The more interesting upgrades come with the characters that can change how you actually play with them. The one that I think is the most impacted by the upgrades is the Glider, as you can give her upgrades that constantly keep your wingsuit duration up. And you can build it so that when you fire rockets, you gain flight time. Instead of firing all your rockets at once individually, you can shoot one at a time and giving you double the rockets in exchange for damage so that you can fly for miles. This game is super fun and definitely a good time solo or with other people. Just like in my Big Catch Tackle Box video, I wholeheartedly recommend you try this demo for yourself. Something nice about this game too is that the demo does get patches and small updates, so it's not just, stagnant. There's also a lot to learn and find out with the game, even housing a couple secrets for you to find for yourself. And that's all I've got to share for now, as I've got to go back to fighting mushrooms.